Good evening and welcome to the Nurse Maggie YouTube channel. I am super excited to be back, but I am even more excited to be able to sit out. Thank you, Lord, for the new season coming in. After being locked in for COVID-19 for so long and winter added to that, it's so nice to finally be out in nature. And the birds are back and chanting and tweeting everywhere. It is so refreshing. So I want to thank you for all your views. I thank you for your comments, inbox, and on YouTube as well. I thank you for all the likes. Thank you for your subscriptions. And I have come back with the third and final part of our discussion, which was titled, "Do not say I do until you watch this video." Hopefully you've been able to learn something from those of you who found the time to comment. And for those who did not comment, I hope you learned something. If you didn't, it is well. I hope you learned something in the next part we're going to discuss. And don't forget to share with friends and family. You never know what is going to speak to somebody. We really never know what challenges people face in relationships and in decision making. So I hope you share with friends and family as a way of helping each other out. With that being said, we're going to go to the next topic. The next titles. We already discussed 5 points prior. If you're just joining us now, please do well to check out the other 2 videos and to see what we discussed prior to this point. Today, I'm just going to go straight into the 6th point. And the 6th point is the need to discuss with your partner specific parts that they envision for the future. It could be career-wise, it could be educationally, economically, financially, depending on what they're doing and what they plan on becoming or doing in the near future, or even in the further future. So you want to sit down and define where you are right now, and they define where they are at that point. In the next 1 year, in the next 2 years, in the next 10 years, what do you see as a plan, as a path of interest to you? So those are some of the questions that are very important to ask. And with that being said, we should know that a vision without action is just a dream. There is no vision that gets accomplished without taking action steps, little steps towards that vision. It is very important to underline this because unfortunately these days, it is very easy to see young boys coming up with no particular plans, no specific plans regarding their future. They have a bed, they have a warm meal, and it's okay. They hang out all day, play tennis, do racketeering and stuff like that, and spend their entire days without thinking about tomorrow. And most of them, when it comes down to it, they simply proclaim love to a woman who has worked hard for years, and all of a sudden they have gone from being broke and now they have a financial future that is stable. And this does not apply to men only. It also many years, decades, centuries past has applied to women. Women who equally spend their time doing their nails, chatting, visiting friends here and there, hanging out, doing nothing, no plan for tomorrow, and they're just waiting for that scapegoat. They're waiting for that Prince Charming, as they call it, a disciplined, educated, intelligent, hardworking man who's going to come and save them from the rot. As we said in the other episodes, in the other recordings prior to today, we said that where there is financial struggle and there is lack of communication, love dies easily. You know, it could start with love, but you also have other aspects that are so important to maintaining a marriage, to keeping a marriage going on good footing. So you need to sit down with your partner, have this discussion, get the details, and see if they are serious about life or not. Basically, it's sad that I have to be this blunt, but the truth of marriage is that marriage is blunt. It is blunt. You know, it is not always what it looks like from outside. When you're unfortunate to meet a person who just wants to hang around, play, have fun, they are not able to contribute anything to your union. They are not able to contribute because, frankly, if they have not had a work history, if they don't have any good work ethics, seriously, what type of advice can they give to their partner? What type of coaching, what type of encouragement can they give to their spouse to help them to the next level? So this is very important. It is a very important point that has to be considered. We need to consider this. So sit down with them. If you, at the end of the discussion, if you see that they don't have any plans, where they are is where they are, and they're like, take me like this, in quotes, please don't. Do not take them like that. Your marriage, your life will be stressed. Do not take them like that if they do not have specific plans. And for you, a dreamer, especially when it's the man who we regard as the head of the family, like, what are you thinking? What is the intention? What is the purpose of you wanting to marry a woman you're not able to cater for? You know, we're not saying that women are weak. We're not saying that women have to be dependent. But when it comes down to it, really, the man leads the family. The man is the head of the family. So if you're not able to lead your family to success, that family is not going to be successful, period. So let's be wise, keep the emotions at bay, within control, and use reasoning when it comes to marriage. The seventh point we're going to discuss is the matter of children. Sometimes medically, one or both partners are not able to bear children. That is out of their control. But when it is not out of their control, when it is a matter of choice, you want to know what are the preferences of your partner. I have seen several marriages have issues. I have seen several individuals feel slighted, feel cheated because their partner did not disclose, or in other words, because they did not have this discussion prior to marriage. You know, sometimes A wants 9 kids and B wants just 1 or 2. You can never assume as to how many kids the other person is thinking of. You know, some women, the man might want 6 kids, and the woman is like, my body can support 1 or 2, I don't want any more, and it causes strife in the marriage. But if this was something that was discussed prior to marriage, then there would be an understanding, there would be an agreement. You know, because of the problems I saw prior to getting married, concerning the number of children to be gotten, I think it prompted me to be able to bring this up. And this is one thing that I successfully discussed with my husband before we got married. If we wanted kids, and if we did, how many kids we wanted. So, and I see that the things we discussed prior to marriage have not been any problem during my marriage. But those things that were not discussed have been the greatest hurdles we've had to cross. And we're still crossing some of those hurdles as I speak. So please take it seriously. The intention, again, of me doing this is to make sure that I give sound advice to the people coming up behind me of what I have learned, to be able to help them to have successful and happy marriages. That is the intention. So take this seriously, share it with others. They might not have discussed with you their challenges in fiancéship, or when they would be engaged. They might not bring everything up to your knowledge, but just having this information beforehand is, I believe, is going to be of great help. The last point we're going to discuss is going to be about family involvement. Family involvement is a very important aspect to consider. There are, I would say by my judgment, about 4 levels of family involvement. The extremes of family involvement is what I would advise to seek out and to make sure that you are in agreement with them prior to saying, yes, I do. The first extreme to family involvement is the case where the other person is completely dependent on their family. They only take counsel from their family. Every problem that occurs in your relationship is tabled to his or her family, and whatever the decision is in that nuclear family, in that original family, is the decision that this person would abide with, would take as priority. They completely disregard how you feel, they disregard what you say, they disregard your contributions to whatever issues you have to deal with. This is one extreme of family involvement you need to be aware of, that is going to stress your family even to a breaking point. So in dealing with this person prior to getting married to them, you need to find this out. Is this going to be something that is going to cause you issues eventually? Is this something that you need to bring up and discuss and see if there is a way of adjusting the degree of family getting involved in your issues? Or is it a situation where you need to let go? You have to make that decision for yourself. And the other extreme of family involvement is when the person is completely independent of their family. That is a horrible situation. It is terrible. You know, in marriages, we run into issues. It is horrible to be in a situation where you have issues with your spouse and you do not have anybody to talk to in the other family who can stand up and say something and your spouse would listen to a sound advice. Sometimes at the beginning of a relationship, it looks like a good thing, when your spouse wants to fly you to Dubai, for example, fly with you to Dubai for a vacation, spending an amount of money that could be needed for something. Maybe some other person is sick, or the siblings need fees or stuff like that. And when the family is complaining and they saying harsh things and they really needing you to put your voice to the situation, and your other person is giving a deaf ear, at the beginning it seems nice. It's like, oh yeah, he doesn't listen to his family, he does what he wants, they cannot do anything about it. Because you're profiting from the situation, maybe it looks like a good thing from a start. But I want to guarantee that if you're getting married to somebody who does not listen to any counsel, does not take advice from their family, eventually it's going to burn your relationship down. Because the same way your spouse is behaving with his family is the same way your spouse is going to behave with you, period. If he doesn't listen to his mother, his father, his siblings, he is not going to eventually listen to you. Once that peak, that excitement of an early marriage is gone, that is it. They will shut the doors on you too. So if you meet somebody who is like that, you want to see if it is something that can be worked on. If it cannot be worked on, then it is your decision to make if you're going to spend your entire life with one as hard-headed as that, or if you're going to throw in the towel and look for somebody who is more manageable, better to deal with. So that is what I have to say about family involvement. And that sums up our topic so far. I would thank you for watching, commenting. Let me know if there are any factors that I left out, that I did not discuss, that per your experience or per your knowledge you think are very important to consider. And I could maybe do a 5-minute video, 3-minute video to comment on that. I'm not sure yet, but let me know what you think. I hope that I have been able to transmit successfully important information on what I have learned, and I hope that it is able to help somebody someday, somehow, in making the right decisions and asking the right questions prior to getting into marriage. Again, the goal is to get married well. The goal is not to get married randomly and consider divorce in the nearest future. That is not the goal. The goal is to be well, happy, and to progress, to grow, and to help each other in this journey called life. Life already is super stressful, and the more we can reduce the stress that comes in and by marriage, the better life would be. I said at one point that the person you get married to has a very, very great ability to make or break you. So that is a wrap, and I'll be back next week on another topic. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do well to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's encouraging to see that the viewers are subscribing. It gives a good feedback to the video maker. So I thank you for your time. Comment, like. Ciao. See you next week. Bye.